Jai Hind dear aspirants, this is part 2 of how to develop officer-like qualities. So last video I had to cut it short because it became too long. And in last video what we discussed was number 1, what are OLQs, what are the 4 different factors under which these 15 OLQs fall. Second, I spoke about a 3D model. In this 3D model, I told you how does your personality develop, starting from having knowledge to experience, then followed by reflection to making it a habit, and then building a personality. And the third important thing where the video became really large, we spoke about how to develop as OLQ as per the time. I gave you 3 different categories. In first, we spoke about if you have 3 years to prepare, how do you develop OLQs? Then somebody having a mid-level plan, that is for 1 year, and the third one is like a focused plan where we spoke about how we utilize the 6 months, first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth month to prepare for your SSB and to develop your OLQs. And since the video got too long, I had to cut it short, and today now I speak about the pending part of it. Now we speak about part 4. In part 4, I told you I will talk about how to develop individual OLQs. For example, effective intelligence. How do I develop effective intelligence? What are the things that I need to do? Followed by the rest of the 14. After that, I'll go to part 5. In part 5, I will tell you how does it differ in the preparation when you are appearing for the different categories of your exam. For example, NDA, CDS, AFCAT and your naval entries or technical entries for that matter. And lastly, we'll sum up with the common mistakes that are done by the candidates in developing OLQs or at SSB. So let's begin. So number 1, we talk about effective intelligence. Now, effective intelligence, if somebody has to develop, I would suggest start playing a game like chess. Why? Because it opens your brain and also it makes you think analytically. So when you have to develop effective intelligence, you learn, things from case studies. Case studies might be in college, case studies might be of real life. Start analyzing how a case has been, resolved, how a case has, how a situation has taken place, what were the pros and cons, how the situation came to an ending. ऐसी जो case studies होती है, start studying about that. Then another thing what you can do is managing events, be it school events, college events, house events, anything, and it will help you even develop your problem solving. So effective intelligence in turn is related to how you can even assess your risk, how you can solve a problem, and how your analytical brain works. So if somebody has to develop effective intelligence, these are the things that you do. Number 2 is your reasoning ability. Reasoning ability आपकी कब develop होगी? When you give competitive exams, when you have given even scholarship exams in your school, or some kind of intelligence examinations that you have, maybe in standard 7th, in 10th, in 12th, you start giving those exams, then your reasoning ability improves. And also when you have such kind of exams, आपकी जो logical thinking होती है, logical reasoning होती है, that also gets better. Your decision analysis also works on that. So remember, if you have to work on your reasoning ability, these are the things you must concentrate on. Next comes your organizing ability. Organizing ability, very simple. You need not even go out of your house. If you are planning some small event for your friends, your school, your tuition, your college friends, your office people, or even your home functions, your organizing ability will come over there. And let me tell you, as I again spoke about, risk assessment जो होता है, risk identification होता है, decision making ability होती है, वो organizing ability से भी जुड़ी होती है. Because when you organize things, you understand कौन सी चीज़ काम कर रही है, what is working, what is not working, and again you start changing your plan according to that. So आपकी decision making ability, आपका risk assessment यहाँ पे बहुत हो जाता है. Then your power of expression. Power of expression is how well you communicate, how well you express. You can read things, you start writing, you start speaking. I may read anything that's available, maybe on the internet, my books. You start thinking about it, you start speaking, and the most important thing is you take a feedback. You need to ask people, how did you do? You may do it alone. to initially get confidence, but it's important that you move out of your comfort zone. Power of expression only and only develops when you are out from your comfort zone, when you are not sitting within your known environment. Go out in an environment which is not known. You might feel scared for the first time, but that's okay. It's important that you go there. So if you do two things, first is listen to how people tell you. जबकि कान आँख आप खुले रखोगे, I keep telling students in all my interactions that you need to be a good listener. You need to listen well, speak, express, and take feedback. And once you've taken feedback, you need to start working on it. Okay, then comes your social adaptability. Again, social adaptability doesn't work when I am at home. Social adaptability comes when I am in a different environment. I may go for inter-college debates or inter-college maybe just festivals. जितने आप अलग अलग लोगों से डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पीपल से बात करोगे, यू आर इंटरैक्टिंग विद देम, your social adaptability will improve. You will start adjusting to people. Why? Because you know how other people are. When we are in a known environment, I know my parents, I know my friends, I even may know my classmates. But what if I go to another college for a festival, or what if I go and participate somewhere, or what if I travel and go to another country, or maybe not even another country, another state? Know how people talk, know how people behave, and then you'll be able to adjust. Then you'll able to adapt yourself. And let me tell you, adaptability is one of the very biggest requirement, or the biggest quality of an army officer or other armed forces personnel, maybe a soldier and an officer, because you are put in such kind of situations. In a day, in the morning you might be walking in the hills, at night you might be sitting in an ambush. So jo spectrum hota hai of dynamics is so large that you need to adapt yourself, and that comes only when you have developed it beforehand. If I am a very private person, I am a very introvert person, but at the same time I can be adaptable. I can go out and adapt with the people. They say in Rome, do as the Romans do, so it's something like that. Then cooperation comes when you play sports. Maybe you participate in NCC, or you do extracurricular activities, maybe community work, जैसे हम छोटे मोटे volunteer work करते हैं, social service करते हैं. In that your cooperation comes there, because that is the place where I'll not just keep saying that okay, this is what I feel it is to be done. I feel that these are my views, but there'll be somebody else will be telling no, we'll do it other way around, and you have to adjust, you have to cooperate. So that also is developed by being outside your cocoon. So many things जब आपको आपके comfort zone से बाहर निकल के खुद को develop करना पड़ेगा. Then we talk about sense of responsibility. I've put a star here, you can see here, I've put a star, S of R. Don't go behind behind the short forms. That's just for my understanding. So when we talk about sense of responsibility is only not participating and doing things. Sense of responsibility is, if somebody has given me a task, have I finished the task on time? If I finished the task, if I have not finished the task, have I given a feedback? Have I told them why I have not done, and by when will I finish this? सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कम्स विद दैट. आपको किसने काम दिया, जस्ट आपके पेरेंट्स ने भी काम दिया, बट आपने वो काम नहीं किया. हैव यू गॉन एंड टोल्ड देम व्हाई यू हैव नॉट डन, और हैव यू इवन टेकन एन एफर्ट टू मीट द डेडलाइंस? हैव यू टेकन एन ओनरशिप? So just take an ownership, complete your task on time, meet the deadlines. Sense of responsibility कि किसी ने आपके कंधों पे आपको जिम्मेदारी दी है, तो मैं वो जिम्मेदारी सही से निभा रही हूँ या निभा रहा हूँ. Remember that. Then is initiative. For initiative, again, you can participate in again same thing, participating in various community programs, volunteer work. You can start anything on your own. And initiative shouldn't always be in a group, that I go and participate somewhere and I just show how good I am and start taking actions. No, that can be one way. But if you're taking initiative, why not start projects on your own? Why not do things at your own? Why not take care of some of the household work at home and help your parents? That's also initiative. खुद से किसी ने आपको बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. I am a good person, I got up on myself and did work. What if I just help my mother in some household chores, or help my father in some finance activities? Why not help him in his business? So these are also small initiatives which can start from home as well as in school, college, your work, everywhere. Okay, then comes your self confidence. Self confidence comes only when you've mastered your skill. मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कॉन्फिडेंस ऐसे ही नहीं आता. आई विल बी कॉन्फिडेंस इफ आई हैव स्टडीड अबाउट दैट थिंग, इफ आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड माई सेल्फ, इफ आई हैव गॉन थ्रू इट, इफ आई हैव practiced it over and over again. If I have failed, I have not repeated my mistakes, and I have doing it over and over again. A repeated exposure will give me confidence. Now next, I am hurrying up because we already crossed 10 minutes. Next is okay, ability to influence a group. Okay, speed of decision. I'm so sorry. Speed of decision. When we talk about speed of decision, how timely am I taking decisions? Because my decision taken, the decision that I've taken on time will be affecting the output. So what if there are some scenarios given? What if sit in a group, talk about different scenarios like military planning or group planning exercises? That's a fantastic way of taking quick decisions, because when somebody puts you in kind of situation, the situation might not be real, but the way your brain functions, it starts to put yourself into a phase where you start feeling ये सब सही में हो रहा है, and that time आप थोड़े झिझकते हो. तो वो झिझक निकालने के लिए आपको ऐसे सिनारियोज प्रैक्टिस करने पड़ेंगे. सो योर स्पीड ऑफ डिसीजन, हाउ फास्ट आई एम टेकिंग डिसीजन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, somebody playing football, you should know whom to pass to. Somebody playing basketball, there's somebody actually at the hoop, near the D, waiting. Why just keep dribbling the ball? Pass it to the person, and the person takes a shot. Speed of decision. Speed of decisions also when you're solving problems, you're solving examination, competitive exam, outdoor sports, adventure. This is all speed of decisions. And speed of decision also comes in when you are exposing yourself to real daily scenarios. For example, किसी ने किसी का पर्स चुरा के ले गया, and you see the person running. How quick are you thinking to go and catch that guy? You might sometimes not be able to catch. How quick are you to make a phone call or click a picture of the car? Proper practical answers. Click a picture of that car or the bike and give the number and say this was the guy who theft. So that is the speed of decision. Next comes your ability to influence the group. Now people think I have an ability to influence the group if I shout, if I scream on top of my voice, if I dominate in a GD. No dear, that is not. If you have to influence a group, first and foremost, you need to be knowledgeable. I cannot influence the group unless and until I have knowledge of a subject. Number 2, am I a good listener? Am I allowing others to speak? Number 3, am I being calm? Am I being logical? All these things will help you influence the group, because people will follow a leader, get influenced by a leader if the leader is relatable, if the leader is smart and logical. आप किसको क्यों फॉलो करते हैं? क्योंकि शायद वो आपको कुछ और सिखा सकता है जो आपको नहीं पता, या आपको रिलेट होता है, वो आपके लाइफ से उसकी और आपकी लाइफ आपको सेम लगती है, इसलिए आप किसी को फॉलो करते हो. जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इन सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर्स. वाई डू यू फॉलो देम और वाई डू यू गेट इन्फ्लुएंस? बिकॉज दे आर डूइंग समथिंग बेटर. So similarly, if you have to have ability to influence the group, these are the things that you should do. You should lead by example. Okay, next is liveliness. Liveliness is very important, very small but it's very important. आप कभी कभी ह्यूमर कितना करते हो, आप कितना ह्यूमर भी देखते हो किसी सिचुएशन में, आप मूड कैसे लाइटन कर सकते हो, आप कितने पॉजिटिव हो, आप कितने ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हो. मतलब थिंग्स वुड हैव गॉन रियली बैड, बट इफ़ यू आर एन ऑप्टिमिस्टिक पर्सन, अगर मैं सोचूं कि भाई मेरा मिशन तो ख़राब ही हो गया एंड नाउ नथिंग कैन गो फॉरवर्ड, एज अ लीडर इफ़ यू थिंक दैट, योर एंटायर टीम विल फील दैट. So what you should do, you should be positive, you should be lively, you must have the smile on your face. Whenever somebody sees you, like, oh, she or he is a very jolly person, very positive attitude wala. And at the same time, you must have emotional stability. Aisa nahi ki I'm so positive and so lively that I'm acting stupid. No, emotions should be in check, so it's emotional stability as well. Then comes determination. Now determination is again upon your long term goals. Am I consistent? Am I having long term goals, and do I work for it? And do I have daily discipline? Discipline is non negotiable. You need to have daily discipline if you have to have determination. Next is courage. Now, courage is not only physical, it is also accepting the truth, accepting your mistakes, speaking the truth, standing up for your people, having the courage and the backbone for saying what is right and telling what is wrong, and facing the uncertainty. ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, because most of the time we do not want to face the reality, we do not want to face the things that are feeling very uncertain. But if you have to face uncertainty, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा? Think with that attitude. Either I'll fail or I will win. I have to face something, I will face. Because again, they are looking for military leaders who are going to lead teams, who are going to lead their troops into battle. Okay, last one is stamina. Stamina is again not only physical stamina, so you should have mental stamina also. If you're mentally weak, even if you're physically Arnold Schwarzenegger, you cannot go ahead because you're mentally weak. And third is most important, emotional. How is your emotional stamina? Are you going overboard? Are you being ekdam under and you're emotionless? Are you having your emotions in check? So physical, emotional and mental, all three staminas are required so that you can handle every situation that's come in front of you very effectively. Okay, now we go to the next part. Now, how do you prepare as per the entries? So now in last two videos we completely saw how you prepare is as per timeline, what is the model, what are the different types of OLQs and how you develop them. Now as per the entry. Why as per the entry? Because this is again a personality based exam. बेसिक पर्सनालिटी बेस्ड है ये. एंड आपकी पर्सनालिटी एवरी एज में एवरी टाइम चेंज होती है. So that is the reason I have got this part to explain you that how you prepare yourself entry wise. So number one is NDA. NDA, that means 16 to 19 and a half years. That means what they see is raw potential. आप में कितना raw potential है to become a military leader. Are you trainable? Because most of the time in those candidates who come from 16 to 19 are trainable. Their personalities are easily moldable. They're in the growing stage. Another thing that they see is integrity. How strong you are on your ethics at such a early age. How strong you are in speaking the truth. Then they see completely. They don't want to see a complete polished answers. Okay, no. Because they know this is the age where you will make mistakes. This is the age where you will have more enthusiasm than maybe sometimes maybe a logical answer. That is why I said they require raw potential. And how much ability to have you have to learn. आप में कितनी curiosity है to learn. All these things are seen for a candidate who is going for NDA. Next comes your CDS. CDS means people who are all graduated. That means your personality is made. Your minds are matured. So here they expect maturity. There they expect raw potential. Here they expect maturity. That means mature enough to understand the opposite person, mature to understand the emotional, the physical stamina requirements, the mental requirement, everything. The understanding of every aspect will be much more than a candidate who is appearing for NDA in that early age. Again, other than that, they see how much awareness you have, situational awareness. Are you a person who is responsible, and do you have clarity of thoughts? Very important, very important. Because as I said, as a child, when you are in your teenage, you say sometimes I want to become this, sometimes I want to become that. But when you are in your graduate, your decision making ability is very strong. It has to be strong. You have to have a clear and clarity of mind for your goals. So remember that when all those aspirants are preparing for your SSB for CDS. Next is AFCAT. Everything remains same for AFCAT and technical entries. But in AFCAT, one important thing that technical awareness thoda ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. That's very important in AFCAT. And for all the other technical entries, AFCAT is specifically for Air Force. Air Force is more of, a technical arm, I would say. ज़्यादा technical चीज़ें हैं. Aircrafts, helicopters, radars and everything. Then the military, because military has that as one portion, army. So here you must have a balanced personality, you have a complete professional outlook, and you have technical awareness. Next comes your technical entry. Now, if you say you're a technical, that means you're an engineer. तो आपकी analytical thinking अच्छी होनी चाहिए, आपकी engineering के concepts सही होने चाहिए, practical problem solving आप में बहुत ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, because you're already studying that from last 4 years. So that is the difference of, rather it's not a difference, it's an addition to what you must have as a CDS candidate. And the last is naval entries. Now I have read this somewhere, okay, that's why I'm talking about it. You know what is the difference? There you have your prolonged time in sea. Your life at sea is completely different. When you don't see in submarines, you don't surface up, or you do not see land for thousands of kilometers. How much is your mental stamina? So here you talk about how much prolonged, कितने लंबे समय तक आप एक छोटे कॉम्पैक्ट स्पेसेस में रह सकते हो आपकी टीम के साथ. तो वैसे ही आपका माइंडसेट भी होना चाहिए कि आपका टेक्निकल एप्टीट्यूड हो गया, आपकी इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी कितना है, आपका आपके इमोशंस पे कितना कंट्रोल है, देन आपका इंटरपर्सनल हार्मनी, हाउ आर यू. इंटरपर्सनल स्किल देखी जाएगी, बट इंटरपर्सनल हार्मनी भी आप कितना हारमोनियसली सबके साथ रह रहे हो. बिकॉज वेन यू आर स्टेइंग इन cramped spaces for such a long time with no interaction to the outside world, not even to other nature, just water, that is the time it takes a toll on you. So all these things are very important, and how you are able to clearly communicate your decisions, your ideas to everyone as a leader. Most important thing, how have you taken care of yourself, and how might you develop that emotional stamina that I spoke about earlier. Physical stamina, okay, and mental stamina. Mental and emotional stability and mental and emotional stamina is very, very much important. So this is it about all the FCAT technical of the entries, as per the entries. And lastly, ekdam, I have written around 5 to 7 common mistakes. Common mistakes number 1 is going prepared for the psychological stories, because you feel these are the stories, or these are the pictures which are already shown to us over and over again, so you start preparing them. Please don't go, because every time you are a different person, your mindset is different, and depending upon that, the psychologist will get to know कि आपने ये मग्ड अप आंसर लेके है या आपके खुद के थॉट्स हैं. again Another thing is trying to dominate. People think I will dominate as I speak so much, I will get selected. No, you should not dominate. Not allowing people to talk in GD, not listening to others, faking, telling lies, faking your confidence, speaking lies, because at the end of the day, 5 days you will be caught somewhere or the other. Hmm? Then you are hiding your failures. There are many people who want to hide their failures and not accepting. Hmm? Another important factor which I have written down, I should not forget, giving socially desirable answers. That means जो society expect कर रही है मैं वो answers दूंगा. But let me tell you, military में scenarios कभी ऐसे नहीं होंगे. You would be taking decisions that may not be acceptable to the society, but you have to take it. Why? Because that is in the interest of your national security. So do not give socially be acceptable. Socially जो answers acceptable है, avoid that, unless and until that is what is should be the answer for the specific questions. And most important thing, thinking OLQ can be developed in a month. No, it cannot be. Again, I am quoting, this is not a knowledge exam, it's a personality based test, and where they are identifying individual. They are not taking officers, okay, they are not training officers. Why do they say it's a recommendation? Do they say it's a selection? Do they say yes, selected officer? No, they say it's a recommendation. Why? Because they are looking for potential candidates. They are identifying, see, potential candidates to lead in demanding situations. Again, remember, you have to be trainable. If you are trainable, if you are a person with common sense, if you are a person with all the things that we've spoken about, you will get recommended. It's a recommendation. So again, it is a personality based test, it's not a knowledge exam, and they are identifying individuals who have the potential to lead military troops in a demanding situations. So students, this was the end of my second video where I spoken thoroughly about OLQs. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, or you can connect with me directly on my Instagram. You all know I speak there directly with you guys on DM. Lastly, if you've liked this video, please like it, share it with everyone, and keep subscribing, because I think I'm going to come with more and more videos for you guys. So Jai Hind.